Before we jump in, don't forget to like, comment your thoughts, and subscribe if you believe technology should be held accountable. This story might just change how you see AI forever. The Supreme Court chamber was silent, like the pause before a lightning strike. Justice Sonia Sotomayor sat tall behind the bench, her black robe blending into the heavy oak around her. Her expression was sharp, focused. "Elon Musk," she began, her voice calm but cutting. "You claim artificial intelligence will save humanity, but who holds you accountable when it fails?" The question landed like a punch. The cameras zoomed in. The audience stiffened. Journalists clutched their notepads tighter. Sitting opposite her, Elon Musk looked completely at ease. No tie, navy blazer, no script, just a quiet confidence. He leaned into the mic. "That's a fair question, Justice." Sotomayor narrowed her eyes. "You're not here for compliments, Mr. Musk." He smiled gently. "I know. I'm here to answer for something the world doesn't fully understand yet." She shot back. "Or something the world is afraid to understand." The room held its breath. This wasn't a hearing. It was a standoff. A judge who fought her way from the Bronx to the highest bench in America, and a man who dared to teach machines to think. If you've ever questioned how far AI should go, or who should control it, stick around. This story's about to go deeper than you think. And just like that, the line between ethics and invention blurred. Justice Sotomayor tapped her pen once on the desk. "Let's be clear," she said. "You've created systems that learn, evolve, and make decisions. That kind of power, it scares people." Elon nodded. "It should." The room shifted. He stood, walked over to the display screen, and with a single swipe, pulled up a real-time interface. It showed a neural network live monitoring emergency calls in underserved neighborhoods, filtering real distress from false alarms to help dispatchers move faster. 3 months ago, Elon said, a girl named Amira called 911 from East Cleveland. She said her mom wasn't breathing. The operator almost dismissed it as a prank, until our AI flagged the tone of her voice. He paused. "She lived." Gasps. A quiet murmur. Justice Sotomayor adjusted her glasses, her voice quieter now. "And what happens when your system gets it wrong?" Elon turned back to face her. "That's why I built the kill switch. Every system I develop has a failsafe, run by humans, not code. AI should never be judge, jury, and executioner." Her eyebrow rose. "You're saying the creator limits his own creation?" Elon shrugged. "Always. If you don't build ethics into the architecture, you're building a weapon, not a tool." The silence that followed wasn't about doubt anymore. It was about consideration. Comment below. Would you trust an AI to make life or death decisions? Where do you draw the line? And for the first time, even the skeptics in the room started leaning forward instead of pulling away. Justice Sotomayor folded her hands. "Mr. Musk," she said, "for someone who claims to value ethics, you've also been called reckless. Critics say you move too fast, break too many things, and ask for forgiveness later." The courtroom stiffened again. Elon didn't dodge. He nodded slowly, stepping away from the screen. "They're not wrong," he admitted. "I've made mistakes. I've rushed launches. I've missed moments. But I've never forgotten why I build." He looked directly at the judge. "When I was 12, I read a book about a dying planet. No one cared enough to save it until it was too late. I remember thinking, what if I could be the one who cared early enough?" Sotomayor's face shifted. Something in her eyes softened. Elon continued. "I know what it's like to feel powerless. That's why I create power. And I know what it's like to be unheard. That's why I make machines that listen better than humans ever did." A murmur passed through the rows of law students in the back of the gallery. Justice Sotomayor leaned in. "And who listens to you, Mr. Musk?" Elon paused. "My team, my critics, sometimes My mother. He chuckled softly. And on bad days, Twitter. Laughter broke the tension. If you've ever felt like no one was listening, but you kept building anyway, drop A in the comments. You're not alone. And just like that, the hearing felt less like a trial and more like a testimony. The courtroom had shifted, not physically, but emotionally. Justice Sotomayor stared at Elon. Her hand was resting on her bench now, her posture less rigid, her tone almost personal. "I wasn't expecting this," she said quietly. "You came in with data, but you brought something else, your past." Elon looked up, surprised. "I don't often talk about it. People assume I just woke up with billions." She smiled softly. "Don't we all have versions of ourselves we try to leave out of the story?" Then it happened. She took off her glasses, rubbed her eyes. "I grew up in the Bronx," she said. "My mother cleaned hospital rooms. I studied at night, sitting next to the window because it was the brightest spot in our apartment." The room was stunned. Elon leaned forward. "I studied under candlelight, in Pretoria. My mom used to stack my books on top of an old oven. It was the only place quiet enough to think." For a second, they weren't Elon Musk and Supreme Court Justice Sonia Sotomayor. They were just two kids who refused to give up. A long pause. Then Sotomayor said, "Maybe this isn't just about AI. Maybe this is about what we choose to remember and what we let machines forget." Have you ever connected with someone in a way you didn't expect? Share it in the comments. This world could use more of that. And just like that, the courtroom wasn't divided anymore. It was united in memory. The courtroom stayed quiet long after Elon and Justice Sotomayor finished speaking. No gavel was dropped, no official ruling declared, because sometimes the verdict doesn't need to be spoken. Sometimes it's felt. Sotomayor looked around the chamber. Then she looked back at Elon. "Whatever comes of this," she said, "I hope you keep building and keep explaining. Not everyone fears technology, but many fear being left behind by it." Elon nodded. "Then I'll make sure the doors stay open. For the doubters, the dreamers, even the ones who challenge me." He looked toward the young law students seated in the gallery. "These systems we're designing, they're only dangerous if we make them in our own worst image. But if we build them from empathy, they'll be better than us." A slow clap started. Just one person, then another, until the room was filled with applause, not for a man, but for a mindset. Later that evening, a simple tweet from Justice Sotomayor would go viral. "I didn't expect to be changed today, but maybe the future is safest when we build it with both caution and courage." If this story gave you chills or reminded you that empathy is a form of intelligence, drop A in the comments and subscribe. There are more stories like this waiting to be told. Because that day wasn't about winning or losing. It was about listening and choosing to lead with understanding.